Woo! It is early. Today we are going to be talking about the USB-C port on the new iPad Pros. I've had a ton of questions about what you can do with them, so I bought some stuff and we're going to try it out. But first, okay, let's go. I might be known as somebody that can be a bit eccentric when it comes to trying new technology, and I may have reached my peak during this video. So going into this, I know it's a crazy setup, but I just wanted to prove it could be done. A lot of people, including myself, were wondering what could be done with the USB-C port on the iPad Pro, so I figured I'd set out to figure it out. And of course, links to everything I'll mention will be in the description below. The biggest question was what kind of USB dock you could use. So I bought a USB port replicator from Kingston on Amazon. At the time, it cost me $50 US. The device has two USB-A ports, two USB-C ports, HDMI, SD card reader, and a micro SD card reader. This was the only one of these devices I found for under $100 that had two USB-C ports. The catch is that one of those ports is dedicated to power, and the other one is for USB devices. For me, this is exactly what I needed though. Power is the basic to any test setup. We wouldn't get very far without it. For me, I start with the 18-watt power brick that came with the new iPad Pro. This will provide enough juice for the hub and the iPad. The cable that's plugged into the USB-C cable is from Apple. This is the 2-meter USB-C to USB-C cable. I got this back with the fast charging brick for my first iPad Pro, and it's still in perfect condition. This cable will then run right to the power port of the Kingston dock. For the USB data port, I use the headphone jack to USB-C adapter. This way I can plug my studio monitors in or a pair of headphones for part of my podcasting setup for a slab of glass. This ended up working out really well, though I would like to find some sort of adapter that lets me physically switch between the two devices. Right now I'm having to unplug one and plug the other one in. The speakers I use are by Edifier. I like them because they aren't oversized, but they still sound really good. My headphones of choice are the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. And yes, these are like the standard tech YouTuber headphones from a few years ago. They still do the job and I haven't found a need to upgrade yet. Plus they sound great and are super comfortable. I love mechanical keyboards and having one hooked up to the iPad for when I need to write for a long period of time is great. I use the Code mechanical keyboard and I know I've talked about this one before. I just love the backlighting and the media keys. As far as the key switches go, I went with the Cherry MX Blue switches. The keyboard itself plugs into one of the USB-A ports. Though this device will work without power going to the iPad, it will drain your battery super quickly, so I definitely recommend having power running to your iPad. Next up is my microphone, and this will be plugged into the last USB port on the Kingston dock. I use the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. What's great about this mic is I can plug it in using USB or XLR. For right now, I'm using USB until I can figure out a way to use XLR with an iPad setup. It also has a port to plug in headphones so you can listen to yourself and make sure you're not clipping. This has been a big upgrade over my Blue Yeti, and I'm really liking the quality I get out of it. Next up is the SD card ports. This supports both standard SD card and micro SD card. I unfortunately don't have anything that uses micro SD card, but the standard port works great. When you plug a card in, it'll bring up the Photos app and you can select what photos or videos you want to import. Last up is setting up an external monitor to plug into the dock. For this, we obviously use the HDMI port. I have a monitor that's a few years old now, but it still works great for this. It's 27 inches and 2560 by 1440, so not quite 4K, but still high enough resolution. I've been playing around with this as the main screen that I've been using while I sit at a desk. For some things it works great, but for others things like editing a podcast in Fair, I end up looking at the iPad because I'm having to touch the screen to navigate a lot. I found that writing for a long period of time with a monitor plugged into the iPad works great. It's much more ergonomic than looking down at the iPad. It's also great for reading scripts while recording, like I'm doing right now. Having the big text on the screen means I screw up less. I hope LumaFusion gets an update to support external monitors. I could see this as a huge selling point for me leaving a monitor on my desk full time. I just wish the YouTube app would update to support external monitor video now. USB-C is pretty cool, but there's so much more we could do with the iPad, but we just need the software updates. I look forward to what the future will unlock, and I'm really curious to hear what kind of cool things you guys are doing with the USB-C port on the new iPad Pro. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.